Okay, we're good. We're good.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, so now I'm going to do another one for the color. So I just did these kind of strokes here, as you can see. Now I want to talk to you something about the colors of the brush and how to use them. So when I start my landscapes, I usually look at the main color I tell students of the landscape. It's usually green and blue, if you're looking at a landscape for the sky, right? Or whatever color it's going to be. So those are the colors that I would start out with. So I have a little bit of my blue here that I'm putting. I didn't clean my brush and I'm picking up some green. So now I have green and blue together, okay? If I wanted more green, I can add it on top. I have this color. Then I'm gonna pick up a little bit more yellow with my brush. You can separately do this, and then I get this color, right? If I wanted to lighten the color, I'd add more yellow, and I get this color. If I really wanted to lighten it, I'd add a lot more yellow, and I get this color. And then if I really wanted to lighten it, I'd add white, and I get this color. What I do is I do this over and over again, so I have all of the greens that I want. Now I'm doing this light as a wash. You can do it thicker, the colors where you see them, you know, a little bit more apparent. So I'll start again. So I'm going to do now a green, and then I'm going to put a blue on top, and this time I'm going to add red, okay? And I do this when I have my landscapes when I want a brown. Now I got my brown for my landscape, and if I want to lighten that brown, I just add yellow. And now I got another brown right away, and if I want to lighten that, I add more white. If it's too opaque, but this is nice for a shadow, right? I could add a blue in here and I get a nice brown shadow. I could add more red in here and pump it up. But if I want to get back to that brown again and make it more a lighter brown or a green combination of a brown, look what happens when I add more yellow to it. Now I have a green, yellow, brown. That's beautiful. All of these colors are things that we would see in nature as far as shadows. I could add more yellow to it, right? And I get this color brown. I could play with these colors and keep doing this. I could add red to it, and then I get back to this color. But I'm going to show you something. Look what happens when I add a lot of yellow to it, and it changes. It's a beautiful color that we would see that happens in the fall, as far as like a fall leaf or a tree. These are all natural browns, and I wrote a book on how to do all these color browns. It was crazy, and greens, and just having these main colors. You can have all your landscape colors, and you can keep changing it. You know, sometimes you might say, well, I want this color for a shadow, and I just add a little bit of blue to this. And do you see how that pops up for a wonderful shadow? It's very realistic instead of using the paints that you have there, okay? And I'll lighten it one more time, and we get this. And then I'm going to add a little bit more red, and we get this. And one more yellow, and we get this, okay? Perfect, couldn't be better. Now, I want to show you something else. When I'm doing the landscape, we already talked about the different type of strokes that we would use in the other video, right? If we were doing these short strokes, if we were making for the trees, if we were doing these and we were making the round brush, and we were kind of doing this dabbing method, if we were working with washes with the water, or this. But this is kind of like my cool brush.
It's like a makeup brush.
Yeah, it's like a makeup brush, right? So it works well because I'll show you something. It's kind of messy, but it works well for clouds and also for texture. So when I want to do these like really, you know, I can get this, and I'll show you the different strokes that makes right away. So if I'm applying a little bit harder, I get these, but you see how this could be a reflection also in the water, right? Mm-hmm. You can do it with any color. It's my favorite brush. I don't put a lot of paint on it, just a little bit in the beginning. And then I can get this kind of, you know, Italian Impressionist kind of idea where I can start blending it and then making it very smooth and soft. So I do this to landscapes when I want to have that kind of loose Impressionist feel. It's really simple to do, and I do not I still do not have like a lot of that paint on my brush, and you can see how light that is, right? So definitely you need one of these brushes. You know, you don't have to buy it at the art store. You could get makeup. Makeup brush works well for blending. And I'll just show you one more thing. If you're going to put another color on top, you see how I'm dotting this out. Let's do it here. I do this when I want reflections in water right away, and I kind of want to get that feeling. I'll show you what happens when you layer two colors on top of each other. It works really nice, right? So invest in this brush. It's a present to yourself. Do not get it too wet. When you get it too wet, it's soggy. And then I'll show you what happens. I don't really like doing this, but I want to show you what happens. Okay, so say it's too wet. When I try to drag it, it's just like this. You see? This is okay if you kind of want these strokes, but you really don't want your canvas to be that wet. Sometimes students will go over it when I do these kind of abstract paintings, and this kind of texture is okay, or we can wash it out right away and we kind of get this, okay? But it's a little bit, you know, don't get so much water, but you can see what ends up happening. I'm doing it here because do you see how you can still see the texture underneath? So sometimes students do that when they want to do a background that's very abstract, and they still want to keep the realistic things on top, and they don't have like a roller or a brayer or something like that. Okay, so it's cut.